after all these months, I just want to know what the time is. I still can't see any clock. Jack, can you tell me what the time is?
No, but maybe Tom can tell us.
Well, just to, ruin this little thing. It's been going a few months now, but if you just turn around now, it's 1:30. It's 1:30.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
We've got a clock.
Yeah. And by the way, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, it's podcast time. Hello and welcome to Blah De Blah. I hope you've had a good summer. We certainly have, and we're ready to give you more banter, more gossip, more facts and more figures. With me, Tom Feeney.
Me, Dale Harris.
And me, Jack Elliott.
We're back for a second year, baby. It's Blah.
D.
Blah.
Well, yes, hello, and welcome to Blah De Blah, and, well, all the favourites are back. Joke of the week, highlight of the week, news of the week, it's all there. Accent of the week, I'm not sure. We did get a few complaints, but anyway, we might take it in turns from now on. So, well, we're not going to do news of the week this week, we're going to do highlight of the summer. A personal highlight and a highlight for the whole nation. Dale, what was your personal highlight?
Well, I mean, if you look at it sports-wise, there's so many to choose from, isn't there?
Of course.
I mean, just this Sunday, the European Ryder Cup team did the unthinkable and came back from 10-6 down to win 14.5 to 13.5. Before that, of course, you had Andy Murray winning the US Open, the first British men's singles champion for
70 plus years.
Yes, exactly.
76.
And then who could forget, of course, the London Olympic Games, which everyone was worried about before, but it turned into a triumph.
And of course, the London Paralympic Games, which was also a triumph.
Of course,
as well.
yes. And also before that, an end to a fantastic Premier League season, a dramatic end. So for 2012, the year of sport in Britain has been, I'd say, a great year. Maybe the greatest year.
I will just point out, we hadn't finished recording when the Premier League season ended.
Well, I was just adding it on to the year of
just adding it
sport.
on, just
I was
adding it
also
on.
just going to add on that we were actually 10-4 down in the Ryder Cup.
No, we
not
weren't.
10-6.
No.
But then
No,
last
10-4.
day went to 10-6.
Oh, last
Yeah,
day,
we're
but we
10-6.
were at one point 10-4. Yeah.
So, what out of all them, let's all pick a highlight each. Dale.
I think it's hard to pick just one, but I mean, obviously, Super Saturday stands out in the Olympic Stadium. I mean, never been more proud to be British, I'd say. I mean, you had, at the start of the night, I was saying, as a joke, really, 3 gold medals, well, that's not going to happen. Jessica Ennis, we knew was going to win, basically, by that point, because she was quite a bit ahead. Then, of course, you had Greg Rutherford, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who obviously wasn't really a favourite for the long jump, but got that big jump in and came up with the goods. We thought, surely Mo can't finish it off, but like the true champion he is, with style and composure, he went round that track, timed it to perfection, and won that race. So that's, I have to say, my highlight of the summer.
I'll just say this though. I always thought on that day that Britain were going to get 2 golds. I thought Jess Ennis and Mo Farah. It was the what was his name? The guy from Milton Keynes.
Greg
Greg
Rutherford.
Rutherford. Didn't want to get the name wrong there. I was, because he really was just a rank outsider at the start of the day, and it was a memorable moment. Jack, what was your sporting your highlight?
My highlight
of the
of
whole summer.
whole summer. Oof, it's quite a lot to choose from. I would probably it would have to be being at the Olympic Stadium, watching Jessica Ennis getting that world record in the hurdles. Then I saw Di Green. Saw quite a few Brits. The Olympics was just everything I expected and more. Atmosphere was amazing. People were very friendly. It was great watching it like on TV and everything. But for anyone who went,
If you had the money.
if you had the money, well, to be fair, they started releasing stuff for cheaper.
But it was, for me,
It was too expensive.
It was
yeah.
£180 to get there and back in a day.
Mm.
In terms of travel, I never could have gone.
But to go on to something else, really,
Yep.
which touched upon as you went to the Olympic Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Olympics make you proud to be British, which they started out for, really, the legacy and all that? Would you say
I
it's a
think
success?
Yeah, they were a success, and the best thing about it from a point of view in terms of national identity was the way that it kind of wrenched the Union Jack out of the hands of the far right in the BNP, with people like Mo Farah winning, Jessica Ennis, mum's from like Jamaica. I just thought it was such a win for like multicultural Britain.
Right, well, me and Jack have both gone with the Olympic theme. Tom, are you along those lines, or?
Well, you know what, the Olympics was brilliant and all, but my personal highlight, I've got to say, was meeting Mick Foley. I met him at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is just an incredible event, and if you do get the chance to go, you know, it's quite cheap as well to go to the Fringe Festival. Free. Well, it is.
There's 868 free events.
Well, it depends where you live, really.
For the show, I think we paid, because me and Jack went, I'll just explain, and we paid for the whole thing. In terms of shows, we paid just for that one show.
Yeah, we played for, and we also paid for Leighton Live.
Leighton Live, which was a brilliant, just 4 of the best stand-up comedians, boy with tape on his face, at about 1 a.m. But I've got to say this, it's that whole thing of meeting someone you've got a lot of respect for, and then you meet them and you think, actually, they're a really nice guy. Because that whole thing of meeting, not your hero, but someone you've got respect for, sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. But I've got to say, Mick Foley was an absolute gentleman, answering all the questions, happy to pose for a photo, you know, and offering quite a bit of advice to people like me as well, which was invaluable.
So, I've asked you this before, I'll ask you again. Did he live up to the expectations after seeing him on screen? Was he, the person you expected him to be?
Well, I think he is known as the nice guy of wrestling, but I've just got to make this comment. I went to the show more to see Mick Foley, you know, rather than his stand-up act. But I left, actually. It was such a great stand-up act. And I've just got to say this, he will be coming back to England soon. And Mick Foley's stand-up tour is worth going, even if you're not a wrestling fan. Because I'd say about 85% of his act actually had nothing to do with wrestling. There's one bit at the end, which clearly involves Hell in a Cell. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll get that reference. But, you know, I think Mick Foley really did deliver.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not at all a wrestling fan. And I thought, a big part of me thought, alright, this guy might be quite good, but Tom really wants to see him. He's wanted to see him since he was in diapers. Alright, maybe not quite that young, but and I wasn't expecting necessarily great things, but I came out of it thinking he's a great comedian and he's obviously a great guy with like the work that he does for Rain as well. I have a lot of respect for him.
Right, well, we've gone through our little highlight of the summer. What was your highlight of this week now? And, right, Del, you again.
Well, I was just thinking of the Ryder Cup that's just happened. Like I said before, 10-6 down, managing to come back from that, matching what the Americans did back in '99. The Americans, there was one journalist for ESPN who wrote an article just saying, writing off saying that, Europe will win if like someone gets kidnapped or whatever. So to do that was incredible.
Did you feel that the spirit of Xavi Ballesteros shone through the European team on that final day?
Well, yeah, I think it must have something to do with it, because when I think they had like, him on their arms or something and on their bags, so to look at him there, I'm sure it drew some inspiration because he was mentioned heavily in the build-up towards it.
I noticed Justin Rose, after he'd won, did point to the badge and he gave it a pat and said, "That's for you, Xavi." So I think that certainly will have played, some kind of emotional part in the way they played on that day.
Well, sometimes I think when you have emotion into it, it can either help or hinder you. I think this time it maybe helped him and really encouraged him to go on that extra yard to get the win. Tom, I'm sure we know your highlight of the week. Tell us anyway.
Well, you know what, I've got to say this. Celtic, the away record in the UEFA Champions League is, well, it's awful. It has to be said. I think it's one draw out of 20 games before last night. 1 point out of a possible 60. 59 points thrown away. And last night, I'll be honest, at 2-1 down, my head was low. I thought we would throw it away because we got an early goal through Gary Hooper. But the spirit that Celtic showed, to get a famous 3-2 win at Spartak Moscow, who've spent a lot of money over